I want to start with you. We're going to get this budget from the Chancellor in 4 or 5 hours now. What would you like to see?
Well, we're a manufacturer as well as a consumer-facing retailer.
In the sense that you make the chocolates?
We make all our chocolates in Cambridgeshire in England, and we're really looking for some support for investments that help our efficiency and our productivity. So we're spending, £1 million, for example, over this summer, increasing our capacity, and there's not very much tax support that's coming our way to help make that happen. It's pretty hard being a manufacturer in the UK. There's a lot of things like skills shortages. The exchange rate is going against us as well. So I think that's one thing that the government could do to really help manufacturers.
Andrew, what do you expect will be said? Will Angus get his wish? Will Hotel Chocolat start to see some support from manufacturing, or is it more the consumer?
Well, I think the Chancellor will feel that he has done quite a bit for business over the last few years, bringing the corporate tax rate down. That doesn't mean there isn't more he could do, for example, in the national insurance system. But I think the other area business should be looking at is the government spending plans. The Chancellor has some quite ambitious plans for the transport infrastructure and for skills, and those are two very important ingredients in what the government does to help business. I think the big challenge for the Chancellor is to persuade business and persuade the public that he can deliver on his plans. We hear a lot of talk about the Northern Powerhouse, developing skills, 3 million new apprenticeships. But governments in the past have talked about these things. What we really need to have is confidence they're going to be delivered.
And Andrew, we heard Angus there talking about Hotel Chocolat also being a manufacturer. We had earlier this morning the British Chamber of Commerce on talking about how we have the danger of a two-tier economy developing here in the United Kingdom where services lead the way and manufacturing lags. What should the Chancellor do? How big of a concern is that? What should the Chancellor do about it?
Well, I don't think he can necessarily target one sector of the economy. I think he should be trying to help all sectors of the economy, particularly those that trade internationally. And manufacturing is a big international trading sector, but we're also very successful at exporting services as well. But these issues like transport infrastructure and skills, they help manufacturing and services. And also, of course, we have to remember that in dealing with the rest of the world, we need a decision on airport capacity from the government. Now, I'm not expecting that in the budget. That's coming later in the year, but Howard Davis has made his recommendation that we should have more airport capacity, and he's suggesting Heathrow. And that's going to be, I think, an issue that business is watching quite closely.
Angus, in terms of course, the retail footfall, you're exposed to that. Is it more of the same? Do we just need steady as it goes when it comes to today's budget for you?
Yeah, I'd say very much. I mean, we're at the foothills of the rebuilding of consumer confidence. I mean, we can see that from the way our customers are behaving. And really, I think we're just looking for the Chancellor not to do anything to mess it up. I'm sure he's not going to, but we're at a very fragile state where the consumer's just beginning to feel got a bit more money in their pocket. The election's been settled. The outlook is apart from the Greek blot on the horizon, is looking quite positive, and they're beginning to spend a bit more freely again. So it's very much nurture that, feed it, do what we can to help fan the flames of confidence again.
Andrew, let me ask you about that, because the Chancellor has already announced, of course, that he wants to cut £12 billion over the next few years in terms of spending. At what point do the cuts threaten, we only have about 20 seconds, I'm sorry, growth?
Well, I think the key thing for growth is a consistent policy, and the government's got a policy of getting the deficit down. Obviously, need to spell out how they're going to do that, but I think the bigger picture is a need for consistency in that approach.